Well, let's see what we got here. It is Saturday, I believe it is Saturday, February the 16th?
Looks like it.
16th?
All day.
All day.
All day long.
February the 16th, 2013. And it is the post Ash Wednesday, which is the first day of Lent, and it is the post St. Valentine's Day massacre on our wallets. Of course, I've done shows titled that, the St. Valentine's Day massacre on our wallets, and rightfully so. Like any other commercialized pagan holiday in America, it's all designed so retail can rake in the bucks.
You don't give the chocolate hearts, the card, the, what's the other thing they usually give?
Flowers?
Flowers, yes, no flowers, roses. You don't get no sex, baby. But no sex.
But this is all tradition. This is all brainwashed.
No sex.
This is all well, you're a little kissy. You and my friends, my other two friends, Brian and Jimmy, are a tad bit on the kissy ass side when it comes to women. You kind of like whatever they like. You say yes, I like it too. They say if the light is green and it's really red, you say it's green, or Jimmy and Brian says it's green. If the girl says it's green and it's red, you know, in other words, yes dear, yes dear, yes dear.
No, only for sex.
Just to get in the old. No,
only for sex.
I would never kiss ass.
That's all.
Even to get in somebody's pantalones, I would never kiss anybody's
ass.
No
mas pantalones.
I got my no mas pantalones. I got my dignity and pride. Proud Leo.
And you'll have your dick inside your pants too.
Dignity.
Dignity.
Dignity. Yeah, but you know what? There's too many ass kissers nowadays. Corporate ass kissers and social ass kissers. And Washington's low. I
got news for you, pal.
Washington's low to him.
In vanilla porn, ass licking is the big fad today.
Well, you mean literally.
I'm talking literal.
Literal ass licking.
That's correct.
You mean tonguing of the anus?
Tonguing the anal.
Tonguing the
sphincter.
Tonguing
yes.
the anus.
That's correct.
Tonguing Uranus. Wouldn't that be funny? A space porn of astronauts with astronauts approaching the planet Uranus, and then all of a sudden they just take their bottoms off.
What about the meteor that approached Russia?
Why couldn't that meteor hit the Republican Congress in Washington?
They're on vacation.
Wherever they're taking vacation, if they take it together. You know, why does the meteor always land in Siberia? It should really land on the Republican Congress. But anyway.
And of course the other asteroid.
My levity bells. Every time we tell a joke. Actually, I added an extra jingle bell.
The other asteroid, 17,000 miles from the Earth.
That'll be a good...
very close encounter.
That'll be a good name for a large bulbous ass adult film star. Asteroid.
Yeah.
Like
asteroid and her droid.
Like Tiffany Asteroid. Asteroid. Like it's like bare ass essentials. Essentials. Like I called one of pro wrestler Jason Speed's valet, the Speedettes. I said bare ass essentials. Anyway, welcome to Progressive Discussions. We're coming to you from the Newsletter Censored Research Center in northeastern New Jersey. And you ever notice that in today's society, people treat their pets a hell of a lot better than they treat homeless human beings?
I think we have something
pertaining to that, right?
Pertaining to the homeless camp in Lakewood, New Jersey.
Let us save that when you come to that reading. But let me officially pipe aboard my illustrious co-host and mentor aboard the progressive liberal pirate ship of newsletter censored and progressive discussions. I wasn't here we didn't do a show last week, so we're 2 weeks behind schedule. Well, 1 week behind schedule, I'm sorry. Excuse me. With my authentic bosun's whistle from Newport, Rhode Island. Ahoy, matey, and welcome aboard the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. How are you feeling today, sir?
I'm going on my 4th week.
With the jaw problem?
With my lockjaw here. I mean, I'm about 85% cured. But the masseter muscle is a little sore.
Okay.
A little sore, a little...
You have any homeopathic products to help
for that?
speed
no, I
the
don't
healing?
Think so. I don't know what what the cause is. If I knew what the cause was, you know, I could approach it in some way, some shape, or form. But the last time I experienced this was some 3 years ago.
Oh wow!
So it's something that occurs whilst I sleep. In bed, something of that nature, okay. You know, the way or something in bed.
Hey, depending on the position I'm sleeping in, sometimes my arm and my hand goes numb, and I have to shake it. I have to shake it with my other hand to get the blood going.
Off the circulation.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're not when you're unconscious, you're not always in charge, you know, on how you are sleeping. You can only initially get in the right position. But I want to give a little true story about what's new, you know.
What's new?
What's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa. Pussycat, pussycat. Yeah, Tom Jones. I don't know if we did a show after I did the professional wrestling event in Middletown, New York, but I just want to salute pro wrestler, second generation pro wrestler, and Jason Speed, doing a great job with his Speedettes, and of course yours truly. I did the video and the color commentary. I received a random letter, kind of ordering me to report for jury duty. People are randomly selected, so I go in. And of course, it's very, very, very difficult to get out of jury duty nowadays. You have to bring, I guess, tangible evidence. They don't even give you a form, you know, to fill out to give, you know, adequate reason for not coming in or to rebuttal whatever, appeal it. They don't even give you a form. They don't even return voicemail messages. They want you to come in. So you go there. This was a county courthouse in northeastern New Jersey, Bergen County. You sit there with a lot of other people. I mean, a lot of people. And they give you free flavored coffees and tea and hot chocolate. You know, all you can drink up until a certain time, then they shut the machine off. But heaven forbid you should cost the county little extra money in free coffee and hot cocoa. Gee. Then you hang out there all morning and all after the early part of the afternoon. Then finally, the person who gives you the orientation and shows you an orientation video on the judicial system and how it's an honor to serve as a juror. It's your I guess next to voting, it's your most important, I guess, civic duty as an American citizen, to be living in a country where we do not have tyrants and dictators, and cases are decided by 8 jurors, by jury. This is a lecture you get in the orientation film. You know, all this Yankee Doodle Dandy stuff. That's just to pacify you so you don't get pissed off that you got to come in. And if you're selected as a juror, they pay you like $40 a day, but that first day is only $5.
Hey, gas money.
And you have
not even gas money.
Guess what? I have to wait almost a month for my $5. So anyway.
However, let me make a point here.
Yeah.
In this orientation, did they ever tell you about what is called jury nullification?
No.
Which means that whatever the judge says, you can say the opposite. The jury is in charge.
The jury...
When a case goes to the
jury can sort of veto and override...
Veto, nullify anything the judge says.
The judges... So, okay.
For instance, if you find that the defendant has been, not treated properly, etc., etc., you may vote against conviction. It is your duty to do that.
Okay.
Jury nullification.
So
they didn't tell you that, did they?
No.
No.
So, all right, big long speech. Big long orientation, and then after the orientation was finished, to occupy our time, we can either read whatever we bring in or watch a movie. So they put it in My Cousin Vinny.
You mean you can't play Angry Birds on your droid? Or smartphone?
They don't want you to. They don't want you to use
access to any of that stuff.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to discuss the case
if you get a case.
If you get a case. Now, then she makes an announcement. And the woman said, "Well, there are 3 cases today, and one case does not need any new jurors, so we have 2 cases left." So she calls out the names of the people who, for the first case, but you have to be screened by the judge and the 2 lawyers you have to be selected for the jury.
Exactly.
And you go to another room. So what happened was, of course, out of all those, out of this whole busload of people, my name was picked. So I follow the others, a lot more than 8 jurors. Like, it was a whole classroom full of people. So I follow the others to another room, and they proceed to do, by sidebar, quietly, to screen each juror. And they call the person's name, and you come up there and you go to sidebar and you're talking to the judge and the defendant and the plaintiff's representatives, attorneys. And all 3 of them decide yay or nay if you're picked as a juror. And they ask
to your answers.
Right. Now they ask you a series of questions. And I wasn't selected, to make a long story short, I was not selected for this civil suit case, which involved an employer. I believe he was fired for, he got hurt on a job. It has to do with, I believe, workman's compensation, and the corporation gave him a terrible hard time, and the plaintiff is the one who is the accuser, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had a civil suit against the corporation, his former employer. So it was labor versus management, corporation versus the little guy. He got hurt on a job, and they tried to screw him out of his benefits. How come we're not surprised here, me and Reverend Bill? Right. Anyway, they did not select me because one of the 2 questions of many were, do you accept the fact that it is the law that a corporation is considered a person? I thought of Reverend Bill.
You better have said no.
I thought of Bill immediately. I said, absolutely not. I told the judge and the 2 attorneys, absolutely, positively no.
Well, you ain't going to be selected, pal.
So the other question that I checked off was, would you show any bias towards, in this case, involving the plaintiff, the employee that got injured on the job and the corporation, would you show any bias? I goes, absolutely, certainly, yes. I will show bias against the corporation for the plaintiff, for the man that got hurt.
Did they immediately show you the door?
Yeah. And I told them I proudly do a weekly progressive liberal internet talk radio show with my partner, and we bash corporations all the time. So the judge, he cringed. He flexed his neck muscles and he cringed, and he had a grimace, and he says, "So I guess this means you're going to show you're not going to be impartial in this case."
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So that was it. I spent all day there, and I'm gone. I have to tell the truth. So I just thought this was very applicable to our show and Newsletter Censored, that these are the questions that got me out of jury duty.
All you have to do is show that you are a free thinker, and you'll be out of jury duty so damn fast, it'll make your head spin.
Yeah, it's like the banner I posted on our Facebook group. It says a conspiracy theorist is a derogatory term for somebody who is a critical thinker.
Yeah, I saw that last night.
Yeah, with the light bulb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're demonized. Yeah. Just like if you're progressive liberal, you're also demonized. All right. We are way behind, so let us sink our teeth into these readings, sir.
All right, we shall begin with something a little not so. Well, in a way, it's a big deal, but you know, it's not so
heavy duty.
Heavy duty.
But we'll run into the heavy duty stuff as we go along.
Yeah, we shall.
As we go along.
As we go along to get along.
Well, I don't know. When it comes to Washington, I don't know about getting along.
Well, they certainly ain't getting along, the Republicans.
Well, my buddy, Iron Man Vinnie Blake, a middle-class citizen of the United States with a family and a home, is totally, absolutely livid and furious that his taxes, that he is still getting hammered as a middle-class citizen. Him and his wife are getting hammered with high taxation. So he says, I am not supporting neither a Democrat nor a Republican.
But does he understand why he shoulders the burden?
I told him he knows. He wants to do a show. He wants to scream on the air, which I think will be a great show, because what could be better than a person giving a personal testimonial of what he or she is going through as an American today.
Well, the Republicans sure don't give a damn about that stuff, though. I'll tell you that right now.
They got no remorse. The old ugly turtle face Mitch McConnell and the Weeper of the House John Bonehead Boner Boehner, I'm sure they can care less.
They don't care. That's the problem.
Chris Christie vetoed.
They have no compassion.
Chris Christie's evil twin vetoed a minimum wage raise in the state of New Jersey.
Speaking about the minimum wage, let me just make a point here. The minimum wage back in like 1968, taking into account inflation and etc., the prices of goods and etc.,
right,
would be today equivalent to $10.50. The minimum wage today is $7.25.
So you could see
the minimum wage has never kept up with inflation. Yet everybody's bitching about it going to $9.
Oh, big deal.
You know what the minimum wage is in Germany?
What?
11 something.
In U.S. dollars equivalent.
In U.S. dollars. I think it's in euros. But to translate it into dollars, it's over $11.
Okay.
Okay? This bullshit that they throw out all the time, minimum, up the minimum wage, and we're going to lose jobs, and people ain't going to get jobs. That's bullshit.
You don't have jobs anyway.
It doesn't matter. The minimum wage has no effect on it whatsoever.
Because labor costs are tax deductible.
That's correct. And you never hear that, do you?
By corporation. You never hear that from Washington.
Never.
Not even from Democrats have I heard it.
No. You don't hear it at all. Period. It is not a cost. It is not a burden. And besides, here's a point. If you as a businessman do not need that person that you're going to pay $9 for, you ain't paying it. You have to need the person. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you need the person, you'll pay, like we always say about the problem with capitalism, you'll pay him a couple of bucks, but never as much as it's worth. Because then he don't make money for you. Okay?
Well, a living wage, the definition of a living wage is a fair...
It's not $7.25 an hour because that's a poverty wage. When that's like 14-something a year, that's under the poverty line.
Considering the cost of living today,
forget about that.
In 2013, the minimum wage is like giving somebody chicken scratch in a barnyard. You know.
Well, like I say, they figured the true minimum wage should be somewhere about $10, $50, $11 today. I have it up over 20.
Considering the cost of living.
Considering everything, inflation, the cost of living, all this other bullshit, and all the lies that they did with the CPI over these years.
So I wonder how these conservative corporatist politicians in Washington expect the masses to like survive.
They don't.
And pay their bills.
See, this is the problem. They don't see the minimum wage as what it is. It's a transfer of wealth downward instead of siphoning upward, which has been going on for at least the last 30 years.
Siphoning upward.
Correct.
For over 30 years.
Correct. Now, with the transfer downward, we have people down on the scale who have more money, and they put it into the economy, and the economy churns. But when the money goes upward, how many refrigerators can the rich buy? And that's why we're in the problems we are today.
As a consumer, the rich are not the consumers of America.
That's correct.
The little schmucks are that's the backbone of the economy in America.
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, I hear you.
The bar-tailed godwit.
What the hell?
Have you ever heard of that bird?
Bar-tailed godwit?
Bar-tailed godwit.
I've heard of nitwits, but not a godwit.
Makes one of the most amazing migrations known to man.
It flies up somebody's ass?
The bird's 7,000-mile journey can take more than 8 days. That's pretty damn fast. 7,000 miles in 8 days.
Wow. This bird has incredible stamina.
Researchers speculate that some types of birds use the Earth's magnetic field for navigation.
Okay.
As if they had a compass built into their brain.
Well, how is the integrity of that magnetic field today?
It is possible that the godwit additionally navigates by means of the sun by day and the stars by night.
The sun in the morning and the moon at night. I got the sun in the morning.
It seems that the godwit can also sense upcoming storm systems.
The nitwit.
That could allow it to benefit from tailwinds.
Animals are more sophisticated and smarter than you think.
Still, the details of just how these birds make their incredible journey baffles experts. Quote, "I've been studying them for 20 years, says biologist Bob Gill, and it's still jaw-dropping to me." Question. Did the navigational system of the bar-tailed godwit come about by evolution, or was it designed?
Interesting.
Lakewood, New Jersey.
Here we go. Listen to this reading.
Officials are taking steps to dismantle an encampment of homeless people.
They're going to evict the homeless people in the woods living in tents? Evict them from the woods?
Summonses were recently issued to the leaders of Tent City,
Summonses.
an encampment in the woods of Lakewood where about 80 people now live.
I'm sure they do not want to live in the woods in Lakewood.
Steve Brigham, who founded the encampment and works with its homeless residents, told the Asbury Park Press that authorities initially told him they would impose daily fines of $1,000 for each of the sites, 100 tents, and 80 wood-burning stoves.
Oh, gee, how are they going to pay these fines?
Isn't that something?
Does it sound like the privatized debtors' prisons?
Yes!
To me?
Did not Gary Null have the
Yes.
show on that the other
Yes.
day?
Yes.
Exactly.
Dr. Gary
And
Null.
I've been bitching about it for years and years and years.
Dr. Gary.
Why would you fine a poor person?
Well, it's like a revolving door. You fine the poor person because they have no place to go, or they can't pay their debt.
Yeah.
And you put them in the privatized prison, and they have the nerve to charge the inmate
It's room and board.
room and board charges. Room and board. I think they call that in a hospital room is called room and board too, with
Yeah.
that horrible food. Anyway, you're paying. You can't pay the room and board to be in your jail cell. Oh, all right. So they fine you. They sentence you to a longer jail sentence because you can't pay for your room and board, and then you're there longer and longer and longer. And guess what?
Because they make a slave out of you.
And guess what you do? Guess what you're doing here? You're working as slave labor for some company, and you're working for free. Bingo! Say hello to slavery, rearing its ugly head.
Yes, exactly.
It's back.
Exactly. And if you happen to be on Wall Street or some big boy or girl,
Yeah.
you get a fine,
Slap.
which ends up being the cost of doing business and doesn't hurt you one iota. Nobody goes to jail.
Slap on the wrist.
Elizabeth Warren, the new senator from Massachusetts, was on the Justice Department the other day finding out why you people never prosecute all these big boys. The SEC, I think it was. Why you don't do anything about these things.
Hamana, hamana.
That's all they could say.
You could tell the Monopoly game is a very old game because the wealthy people can go to jail in Monopoly.
Yeah.
And they have to pay.
$200 to get out.
Yeah, well, they pay. They have to pay fines, and they can go
Free.
directly to jail. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. So that tells you how old Monopoly game is, because they don't do it today. Anyway,
But Lakewood authorities have now informed Brigham that they will come in Wednesday and disassemble the camp
not
if
really.
the tents have not already been taken down.
And where do they expect the people to go?
Who cares?
Well, they probably have room and board waiting for them in a privatized prison.
Well, yeah, if they become loiterers or
Well, they will.
some of that nature,
Well, they
yes,
will.
then they'll have an excuse to pick them up and throw them in Hoosgow.
And they'll right in the pokey and Hoosgow, and they will have gainful employment too,
Yeah, making license plates.
as a slave.
The cost for that work will be passed along to Brigham and other camp leaders. See that? They're gonna shoulder the poor with the cost of the cleanup yet too.
It's bad enough that these people are poor and homeless and have to live in a damn tent in the woods to a decent shower and a sink and cooking facilities, and heating. I mean, it's bad enough they have to be there. Now they're evicted from that miserable life, and they are going to loiter, and they're all going to end up in the privatized prison working for free for some scumbag corporation.
That's America.
Yeah, the America of the 21st century, should I say police state? fascism.
Certainly not a Christian nation, as these right-wing, conservative, religious nuts would have you believe.
How could it be a Christian nation if they don't even know the Bible?
Whoa!
They don't know the Bible, believe me.
That's for sure. But unless you say anything about that or about them, they will think you're attacking Christianity.
Whose Christianity?
Like at Christmas time.
Satan's version? Their version?
When you attack and try to tell them the truth about Christmas, they say you're attacking Christianity.
There was
war on God.
I have to try to find.
Bill O'Reilly.
I have to try to find you the cartoon show on YouTube. Yesterday, late at night, they played the episode of Family Guy where they're forced to stay. Peter Griffin is forced to stay with his in-laws in Texas, and they did a big satire on right-wing fundamentalist nuts, religious nuts in Texas.
Big.
And they really exaggerated it, but it was based on truth. But I mean, they showed just how backwards and stubborn and crazy and fanatical and nuts these people really are.
Mm-hmm.
These red Bible Belt, red state fundamentalists, and how prejudiced and bigoted they are. You know, and even
they have no open mind.
Even a cartoon G.W. Bush was in this episode, and Dick Cheney too. Anyway,
well, on Monday night, on cable, on MSNBC,
right,
there's going to be a show, a brand new documentary,
really big shoe,
narrated by Rachel Maddow.
Okay, Motormouth Maddow.
Based on a book by Korn and another gentleman.
Orville Redenbacher?
All about how George W. Bush and that administration lied us into war in Iraq.
Where is this documentary going to be shown?
MSNBC. Channel 23 here in New Jersey.
That sounds like
Northern New Jersey.
That sounds like a pretty good program.
It will be a damn good program.
And I will post it on our political group on Facebook.
Good.
Hard Hitting Truth. It's called Hard-Hitting Truth.
Good.
Feel free to join
Everyone should watch it.
That's right.
All the yes men and women at the time. Yeah, we have to go. Weapons of mass destruction. Oh, it could be a mushroom cloud.
That was an excuse to go get the oil, to go get them to go steal their land.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What did we get from Iraq
Nothing.
today? Nothing. Unless there's some sort of deal, underhanded deal with the oil that we don't know about. But otherwise, we got nothing from it. And we also put into power another regime that will be kissy ass with Iran.
Well, same thing with Vietnam. What did they have to gain in Vietnam?
Vietnam was there, among other reasons, to use up the weapons in our inventory so that we could get new ones. They were just sitting there.
All at the expense of the life and limb
of people.
Humans, kids of poor and middle class families, mostly poor.
Yeah.
Drafted.
Yeah.
You know, they use this bullshit sales pitch. Get a free education in the military and blah blah blah. You know, and.
Well, they didn't even have to do that in those days because they were just drafting you.
Right.
They were just drafting you, baby. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like an honorable war like World War II. I mean, you had people like baseball legend Ted Williams, right, joining the military to go fight Nazi Germany, and you know, you had people that volunteered to go. You know, Daddy Bush was a pilot in the Pacific, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So on and so forth. You know, it was it meant something.
Yeah. Well, Vietnam didn't. That's for sure.
Right.
House Speaker John Boehner
Crocodile tears, Boehner.
said he doesn't think President Obama has the guts to seriously address the country's debt and deficit.
Let me tell you something, Boehner. If President Obama, if he wanted to, and this is what, if I heard this coming from Boehner, Republican, and I was President Obama, he could very easily go on national TV and expose what the Republicans really are doing. He could have more than guts if he chose to do this. So Boehner is nuts, because there's so much dirt that can be unloaded, you know, and inform the American people what's really going on. So I don't even know why he antagonized the president that way.
This from a man who didn't have the guts to control the far right of his own party in the House, which has led to stagnation.
Yeah, and lots of vacations too.
Republicans have offered few new ideas and tried to block everything Obama puts forth to improve our economy and to address our social concerns. They have become a party of whiners that selfishly refuses to compromise. If Republicans continue their current path, they will likely go the way of the Bull Moose Party, which is not healthy for the country. I disagree with this next sentence. We need two parties that work together.
No.
Not one with the motto, whatever he is for, I am against.
No, the two-party system. Forget about the two-party system. What is with these idiots in this country?
Yeah, we don't need parties.
With the two-party system. They're so brainwashed.
I hope they have the guts
Yeah.
to move forward by recognizing today's world instead of trying to make us live in a time that has passed. That's one of the other problems with Republicans, per se. They live in the past. You know what I mean?
Or maybe they're using all this mumbo-jumbo as part of their lying propaganda, by saying the same ridiculous crap over and over again. And they really know what's going on.
No, they don't. They don't really. They are mired in their ideology.
Well, I know
like stuck in mud.
I know the Americans that vote.
Quicksand.
The Americans that vote for them are stupid as all hell.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beyond being suckers and lemmings. They're just downright imbecilic.
Well, they too are mired in their religious
cult.
Delusional ideology.
It's a cult. Their religious ideology is a cult. It is not of the God of the Bible.
Correct. Governor Christie refused to say publicly what he told a former White House doctor during their telephone call, which was prompted by her saying on CNN that the overweight governor might die in office if elected president. Christie said his Thursday telephone call with Dr. Connie Mariano,
Dr. Connie Lingus?
Mariano,
Oh, Mariano.
a self-professed Christie fan who worked for former President Bill Clinton, was a private conversation and declined to elaborate. The governor himself drew attention to his size Monday after eating a donut on The Late Show with David Letterman as part of a gag over his weight.
He should enter the annual hot dog eating contest. What is that, Nathan's?
That he might beat Joey Chestnut.
he can sit on. He'll probably sit on Joey Chestnut and keep him from continuing the contest.
On Tuesday, Christie dismissed health concerns, saying he was constantly working to shed pounds. But he lashed out at Mariano, who told CNN that Christie's weight puts him at increased risk for a heart attack or stroke. Mariano's comments gave rise to questions about Christie's fitness to seek a second term in New Jersey or the presidency in 2016. And at a news conference Wednesday, he called her completely irresponsible and a hack who wants 5 minutes on TV. I find it fascinating that a doctor in Arizona who's never met me, never examined me, never reviewed my medical history or records, knows nothing about my family history, could make a diagnosis from 2,400 miles away.
Why do all these obese people continually make excuses for their weight, for their condition? You know, why don't they just come clean and say they have a problem, a eating disorder, psychological problem? You know, I don't know.
She should probably be the Surgeon General of the United States because she must be a genius.
No, if she was a genius, she would be a natural holistic practitioner, not a drug-pushing Surgeon General.
Though Christie wouldn't detail his subsequent telephone conversation with Mariano, she refused to back down, issuing a statement that it doesn't take a physician to look at him and observe he's overweight.
It's putting it mildly.
And she told a news station that Christie continued to yell when he called her on the phone.
Well, that's what he does.
Saying it made her question her previous support of the governor. It was essentially the tone of the press conference, only louder, she said.
You can't hide his physical condition.
It was hard to get anything across, she said.
Yeah, he overshadowed her.
Mariano, a Republican, said that Christie did not act presidential.
No, he acted like a friggin'...
he acted like a cornered child.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, who had his hand caught in a cookie jar.
Uh-huh.
Who got caught with his hands in a cookie jar, you know? I mean,
or the donut jar.
Or the huge sack of Dunkin' Donuts. But he's out there. It's there. He can't hide. Maybe other people can hide behind him. You know, or like the joke I made from the honeymooners when he goes to the beach when he was in Point Pleasant that one year. You know, people can gather around him for shade. You know, but he's only hurting and spiting himself by making excuses for his weight. You know, it's like...
Yeah, and he says he's working at it, but I don't see it, and I don't hear
What I
anything.
want to know is these obese people that are so heavy that they're immobile, who the hell gets them all their crap food? I blame the people around them for just as much as I blame the person who eats all that garbage, you know, the obese person. I mean, who supplies the crap when you become so obese that you can't get out of bed and you can't go to the store yourself? So there must be a lot of enablers that think they're doing good, but they're only sealing the fate of their loved one. A lot of stupid people in America. It's unbelievable every week. I'm convinced of it more and more. But very educational, very informative, and sometimes very entertaining shows like Progressive Discussions. We don't go viral. What goes viral is the stupid, imbecilic, numbskull videos that are out there. People care more about that fat ass gold-digging slut Kim Kardashian, you know,
Kardashian,
the spoiled bitch, and her sisters. They care more about somebody that puts a stupid asshole thing like the duck song, you know, it gets millions and millions and millions of views, or some other ridiculous crap, college kids farting, and you know, or farting contests, or whatever the hell it is.
Oh my God.
If it's stupid, or Honey Boo Boo, if it's retarded, if it's stupid, if it's mindless, if it's unimportant, you know, like this Inside Edition, these shows, Entertainment Tonight, where they really give a shit what J-Lo or Kim Kardashian has to say on different subjects, how she feels on different subjects. Who the hell cares what these celebrities do? I could care less. I don't put them on a pedestal. I don't idolize any human being. Except God's, you know, Jesus, God, the only ones that should be on a pedestal, but not them. Especially not them. I think, it's insane. It's insane. The real videos that are worth watching, they never go viral.
Georgia Representative Paul Braun,
Yeah.
or Brown, depends on how he wishes to be known,
Yeah.
said in videotaped remarks that evolution, embryology, and the Big Bang Theory are lies straight from the pit of hell.
Everybody who doesn't think like the right-wing fundamentalists are all of the devil. Meanwhile, they are of the devil.
Yeah. That's called being an angel of light.
Yeah.
You know,
So what is that?
pretending to be what you aren't.
What is that famous quote in Matthew? The false prophets come to you in sheep's clothing, but they are really like ravenous wolves.
Wolves. Brown, a Republican, what else,
That figures. Doesn't surprise me.
who is running unopposed, made those comments at a Baptist church in Hartwell, Georgia. Brown, now here's the kicker, is a medical doctor.
Hold on. He's supposed to be a man of science. He's a medical doctor. And he's talking like this?
Not only that, he sits on the House Science Committee.
But he's in a red state right now, right?
Georgia.
Well, I mean, I saw information on the internet about I think North Carolina or South Carolina. They ban a woman showing her nipples is against the law.
She had the duct tape on the
Yeah.
breast. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh boy.
Brown also said that he believes, and may I add, this is in total contradiction to the Bible. He believes the earth is about 9,000 years old.
Huh?
I would refer everyone to Psalm 104:30. And that it was made in 6 days. And Psalm 104:30 doesn't say it was made in 6 days. It says that it had to be resurfaced.
Resurfaced?
Those beliefs are held by fundamentalist Christians who believe the creation accounts in the Bible to be literally true. Well, I got news for you. The accounts that they believe aren't in the Bible, so they're not true.
Well, Ken Create believes the earth, the universe was made and was slapped together in a week, and that the earth is only like what he says, several thousand years old.
But the Bible says contradiction.
Yeah. it seems like there's basically there's two types of Christians. You have the Christians that believe what this man just said, but these same Christians also are conservative and usually vote Republican, and they believe in the rapture, that they're going to get sucked up into the air and avoid the tribulation.
Belief is belief.
And they insist that the Bible tells you this. How
they don't study.
See, our group in Facebook, Hard Hitting Truth, it's for independent, free-thinking people with open minds. I cannot understand those that do not have an open mind, who are not critical thinkers. I just can't understand why, what goes in, what makes them tick.
Revelation 12:9, they are deceived.
Are they insecure? They have to be followers?
They are deceived.
But how come we're not deceived?
They are deceived.
How come we're not deceived?
They are deceived. It is given to some to understand.
Yeah.
Just read your Bible and see what Jesus told the apostles about the parables. People, your Christians, your conservative Christians, they believe that Jesus spoke in parables to make his meaning clear, when Jesus says just the opposite. It is not given to them to understand these things.
Right.
It is given to you at this time to understand.
Hey, I had a big debate with Ken Create about all of a sudden he's starting to be a little lenient with these morons, these lunatics that claim that the Holy Spirit comes into them and they speak in tongues. All this gibberish. It's nothing but gibberish. I told them it's gibberish because when they spoke in tongues in the Old Testament, they understood each other.
New Testament.
New Testament, I'm sorry. They understood each other. It's all nonsense.
Each man heard it in his own language and therefore understood.
Yeah. And I had to interrupt him because he kept on talking for such a long time about prayer. Every little thing he does, he talks to God.
He thinks he talks to God.
And I can't convince him that God's not interested in the average folk.
Well, wait a minute.
Right now.
Wait a second. Wasn't God interested in the Super Bowl? Isn't that what they said?
Some think that he was.
Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, he was for the Ravens, I guess, right?
No, he was for the 49ers.
Well, the Ravens won.
Yeah.
Well, then God lost?
I was for the Ravens. Yeah, I mean, it's like...
It's like they're wrong and they do not wish to do the homework to find out why or if they are or not.
I mean, there are parts of the Bible that make it sound like you can pray for every little damn thing and have a conversation with, but
not everyone.
But not everyone.
Ever since the Garden of Eden, the vast majority of human beings have been cut off from God. They do not have a stovepipe man upstairs.
So these people, these born-again evangelicals, seem to have this one mindset about the rapture, about how old the earth and the universe is, about prayer.
And they believe God is trying to save everyone now.
And every human being can just, if they need a pair of shoes, if there's no groceries in the house,
ask and you shall receive.
If they want to land this new job, this new career, they believe that you can. Even my sister believes that you can have a conversation with God and pray for every little damn thing, and He is going to be personally involved in every one of how many billions are on the earth?
7.
Right now, 7 billion people. It's a cult. It's a cult because do they prove all things? Like in Thessalonians? No. Anyway, it's time for the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman's gastronomic delight known as lunch, followed by supplementation. We'll catch you when he's done. Well, Chief, it's too bad that the very best pollinators, which are the mason bees, which have no stinger. I think they can pollinate 20 times greater than any honeybee with a stinger. Too bad they don't make honey. Could you imagine having your own apiary for raw wildflower honey and never get stung because they don't have stingers? It's a shame, but they're great. They're great pollinators. But of course, if the pesticides by Monsanto are killing the standard honeybees, the standard bees with stingers, then I would imagine they would kill the mason bees also. It's a shame. It's a shame, but it's all prophesied in the Bible, man. You know, the horses of the apocalypse. You got the false prophet, the white horse, the false prophet, then you got pestilence and famine, so on and so on and so on, so on and so forth. As the seals get broken. All right, let me knock off promo. All right, let me do this first because usually I do the painting first, but because I have some brand new paintings just completed by the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, I will do the paintings second. If you're wondering, people, how is the best way you can join our organization and be a part of our organization? Well, the foundation of our organization and the best way to join us is really to get your free annual subscription to Newsletter Censored. And it was founded in 1977 by my co-host and mentor, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman. It's the type of information that most people are afraid to hear. Can you handle it? And what you do is you go to newslettercensored.com and you click on the printable order form, or if you don't want to print it out and you use up the ink in your inkjet, just simply very neatly and legibly print, no script, print your full name and address, your full contact information, and with your gift to support this work, get your free annual subscription to Newsletter Censored. This is what started it all in 1977. You need Newsletter Censored. We are living in the end times. You need Newsletter Censored to learn how to defeat a conservative and to find out what the Bible really has to say. Not what right-wing, zealot, red state fundamentalists tell you what the Bible says, that are trying to rewrite the Bible. But the Reverend Dr. Bill will show you what the Bible really has to say. And it's one of a kind. There is no newsletter in the universe like Newsletter Censored. Believe me, it is the deepest, hardest hitting, most informative newsletter out there, and it is exactly the way you join our organization and support this work. So get it now. newslettercensored.com. All right, now let me get set over here for the second phase of the promo. This gentleman right next to me, see this guy over here? This is a self-portrait of my co-host and mentor, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman, because the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman is a fine watercolor artist. You can see the entire William J. Eisenman collection, well, not the entire collection, maybe 95% of it, because he still has to scan the new paintings and send them to me. Unresized, of course, in their naturally large resolution, the way they come off the scanner. No little freaking thumbnails. And but anyway, you want to see the William J. Eisenman collection of fine watercolor art, the gallery? Well, simply go to its new home which is at Tumblr. It's a website for artists, mostly photographers. I believe it's spelled T-U-M-B-L-R. And you can Google it. You can go to Tumblr and type in William J. Eisenman Collection, or you can go to our radio station, which is at the top of newslettercensored.com. There's a link there. Go to the radio station, and there is a link on the left. Scroll down, and you'll see William J. Eisenman Collection of watercolor art on Tumblr, and just click that link, and you will see it. If there's something you like, email Dr. Bill, and if he still has it, you can acquire one of his authentic paintings signed by him, Dr. William J. Eisenman, and for a sizable gift, for a very sizable, generous gift, you can acquire one of his watercolor paintings, one of a kind. So let me show you the ones that have been done recently. Now, this is the first one. It's a landscape. All right. Hopefully you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. It's the first one. New paintings, watercolor paintings. All right. And next one is also a landscape, like a tropical South Pacific island. That's number 2 new painting. All right. And this one here is a lovely young lady. Very well done. All right.
Oh.
Lower?
No, wait. What would be a good Mexico name for her?
Francesca? No. Margarita? Maria? But anyway, regardless, so the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman is becoming a master of the human form. He is mastering the human form. Okay, so this is a beautiful new painting that will be scanned and up on the website.
Talita.
Yeah, whatever you like. Oh, you know, remember the other young lady that something went wrong and you had to scrap it?
Yeah.
She was very pretty. She was cute. You should try to redo her.
No.
No?
No, I never redo.
Well, I mean, she had a unique look about her.
I'm working on another one.
Okay, this one is gorgeous because of the colors. The Reverend Dr. Bill also paints abstracts, and as you can see, this is has you know, a beautiful array of tropical, delightfully tropical looking colors. You know, spring is not too far away, and this is a very invigorating.
Remember what Punxsutawney Phil said?
Very pleasing to the eye. He said that we're going to have an early spring.
Yes.
I believe it.
Good.
I'm starting to see.
You're not going to believe it tomorrow and the next day, though.
But I'm starting to see photos on the internet of cherry blossoms. Does that mean that some of the cherry trees are blossoming?
There's a stink bug in my house, too.
A stink bug?
Yeah.
Spray some air freshener on them.
I can't find them.
All right, that's the abstract. Beautiful abstract, brand new, from the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisenman's collection. William J. Eisenman's collection. Okay, it will be scanned, and eventually they all will be on Tumblr. Will go on Tumblr. The whole gallery is there, and you just simply scroll down, and you got to keep on clicking the link that says like older photos or older posts, and it just goes down, 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 down. Down, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. Johnny Cash. Oh, we watched the Johnny Cash story at the courthouse. They played that also. They made a new like a biography, a movie of Johnny Cash's life. And some actor played Johnny Cash.
Never heard about it.
Yeah, it's a Johnny Cash movie. The story of Johnny Cash. Anyway, beautiful abstract. All right. These are the new ones, the new watercolor paintings. Of course, he's working on one. It is not finished yet.
No.
Don't show it. Wait until it's done. Well, all right. You know what? Let me wait till it's done. Why show it twice? But he's working on another one, a woman, a female. Okay. Oh, I guess they were. I forgot. Were they up here?
Yeah.
Well,
no.
No.
To the left. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no support here.
Turn them the other way. No.
No. You mean this way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean it's still. Okay. Whatever you say.
That's what they want.
Okay. You know, artists are, they could be funny people. They could be, some can be very eccentric. Some could be very, you know, set in their ways. Like, for instance, I told, when I told these two people that were painting with oil, when I told them that my radio partner, who paints with watercolors, says that oil is extremely messy. It's a big job to clean up. Of course, they said, "Oh no, it's not. I don't mind. I don't mind." You know what? I hate people like that. No matter what you tell them, everything is fine and everything is wonderful and everything is great. They're like the ultimate ass kissers. How could everything be great, and how could they love everything, and how could everybody be great, and how could they be happy 24/7 with a phony Cheshire cat smile on their face, and they know damn well that painting with oils is a big mess. Oh no, and then one that says, "Oh no, I like mess." Well, that's one woman that's not for me. Because you know that I'm a neat freak, and I don't like germs, and I like it clean, brother. So to have a slob, I lived with one of my exes of the past was a slob. Two of them. They were both Aquarians, though. It wasn't that they were dirty people. No, they took showers on a regular basis, and no, it wasn't that. It was they were like disorderly, you know, like. If they would read a magazine, the magazine would just get thrown on the table, you know, or things ended up on the floor. Things were thrown on the floor, on the table. Things were not
put in their place.
Systematically kept in their place. You know, magazines put away on a shelf, or books go back on a shelf. Dirty underwear goes in a hamper. You know what I mean? Things that are washed get hung in the closet, or they go in the dresser drawer. You know, it's like they didn't care, or laziness or something. But they excelled at their craft. It's one of the traits of Aquarians. They're very artistic, very creative.
Except for Ronald Reagan.
Creative. Ronald Reagan was an Aquarian. He was kind of a lame brain, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was he? You think he was a puppet?
That's what Republicans like when they vote for a president. They want somebody who can be led.
That's why they like Romney.
Manipulated.
Right? Mitzter Romney.
Oh yeah, Mitzter showed right through the whole primary that he would just suck up to anybody, you know, who was going to give him anything.
Yeah, and Paul Ryan wasn't exactly no whiz kid in the debates.
You mean Paul Ryan, the other half of the Water twins?
Yeah.
Marco Rubio and Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Water Twins.
The Water Twins.
His answer, his rebuttal to the State of the Union, he had a water bottle way off the camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
The more
The more he lied, the more he sweated, and the more he needed water.
and the more he couldn't rebuttal Vice President Joe Biden, and he got more nervous, and he drank more water, and he took more sips, because Joe Biden made him.
You mean that's Paul Ryan?
Joe Biden made Paul Ryan look like a fool, like an idiot, and he got.
Which is easy to do.
Well, listen, even a worthy adversary would most likely lose a debate against Joe Biden. You know what I mean? But he was up against a numbskull, Paul Ryan. And yeah, so he got nervous and took a lot of long drinks of water, like he was under some bright flood lamp, you know. But so as Mr. Spock, old man Spock, always says, these humans are so illogical. In this case, today's Americans are extremely illogical and brain dead. Okay.
An official spokesman for the Heart Attack Grill
Oh, that place.
in Las Vegas
I remember that.
has died of a heart attack.
How
But at
ironic.
least his advertising was correct, right?
It became a reality.
Yeah. John Alleman, 52, who scoffed at healthy heart warnings by waving in customers outside the eatery while dressed as a hospital patient,
He's only 52. Wow.
is the second unpaid mascot to die in 2 years.
Unpaid? What did he get? Free food?
Exactly.
That cheap bastard that owns, that slick, cheap bastard that owns the Heart Attack Grill. The old pay him in food trick instead of giving him money.
Alleman was taken off life support after suffering an attack last week
I hate CEOs so much.
while waiting at a bus stop in the front of the diner. Although never on the payroll, Alleman came to the restaurant daily and encouraged passing tourists to try calorie-heavy offerings such as extra-fat milkshakes.
Did he at least get laid by the scantily clad waitresses there?
Flatliner fries
Flatliner Flugy with the Floy.
cooked in lard and a quadruple bypass burger that contains 9,982 calories.
Now, just the very name of this meal makes you clutch your chest.
That's like several days worth of calories that a man would eat at one meal.
Incredible.
The diner flaunts tongue-in-cheek health warnings and casts customers as patients. Eaters are given surgical gowns as they choose from a calorically extravagant menu. The restaurant uses the tagline, "Taste worth dying for." Nobody is shaking his head over the death Monday more than Jason Balland, executive director of the Las Vegas division of the American Heart Association. It's a dark, cautionary tale, Balland said. Heart disease is still the #1 cause of death in the United States. Nutrition and what we put into our bodies play a significant role in the heart health of an individual. Alaman wasn't the first spokesman to die while promoting the grill. In 2011, 575-pound Blair River died at age 29.
29?
He weighs 575 pounds.
Oh, that's what. Of course he frequented that place, right?
But friends say pneumonia may have been the cause of death. In 2012, a man in his 40s was hospitalized after he began sweating and shaking while eating a 6,000-calorie triple bypass burger. Other diners thought the incident was a stunt and began taking pictures. Ted Nugent.
Oh, the right wing, gun-toting, gun-loving rock legend.
The failed rocker turned gun rights activist, who was the subject of a Secret Service investigation last year after controversial remarks about President Obama, attended the State of the Union address as a guest of a conservative congressman from Texas. The invitation from Representative Steve Stockman, Republican from Texas, came as some Democratic lawmakers invited people who have been affected by gun violence to attend the presidential address. Stockman said he was excited to have a patriot like Nugent join him in the House chamber, and that afterwards he's sure that Ted will have plenty to say.
Well, it seems like they don't want to give up their assault rifles, these people.
It's very funny and ironic. The Republicans are in charge of the House. They control the Senate by filibuster. Yet all of their gun-toting, religious, conservative, right-wing nuts fear the government when they're the ones in charge. And they want to hold on to their guns in case the government with the black helicopters come after them.
See, this is what I don't understand with the conspiracy theory celebrities that are in the spotlight. They always say, I mean, I'm a big fan of the programs, don't get me wrong. I wholeheartedly believe that a lot of conspiracy theories are true. But it always seems like, according to them, the government is always the enemy, and it's never the 1%, the elitists, the corporations, the fat cats. They're always talking about government, 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 government. Every show, every program, everything is government. You know what I mean? So would you say these conspiracy theory celebrities are more or less libertarians or slightly conservatives, or what are they exactly?
They're nuts. They're nuts.
It's always government that's the problem, and they never use the word corporation.
They want to make government so small that they can drown it in a bathtub. In other words, they are traitors.
But they're not. But they don't show allegiance to the Republican Party. The conspiracy theorists.
They may say they don't, but who's the ones that lead the fight against government?
Republicans.
Correct. So if you throw in with the crowd, what are you?
And if every program you do is always anti-government, and it's never anti-big business, except the shows about Goldman Sachs.
But Goldman Sachs is so big that you can't hurt it.
Even if you find them.
We found that out.
It's like nothing. It's like a tickle.
It's absolutely nothing.
It's like tickling them with a feather.
That's correct. But the problem
Or
is,
Monsanto.
or Monsanto.
Drug companies too.
Drug companies. Whenever you're too big and you give money to the campaigns, what are they going to do against you? They're going to do nothing. Theoretically, we have a democratic government. We are the government.
Theoretically.
So if we want to destroy our government and make it small enough to drown in the bathtub, what the hell are we fighting? Ourselves! But the fact is, behind all of that rhetoric and yak and talk and crap is the fact that the corporations want to be in charge. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And the politicians enable that.
The modern day plutocracy, the oligarch, is the corporate elitists.
Instead of the vote, they got the moolah. And they bought the government.
That is why when politicians in the two-party system run, they both fight. Hold on. They both fight tooth and nail during a debate. The Republicans versus Democrats. They're at each other's throats. But once they get elected, they're just two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. Nugent's remarks at the National Rifle Association convention in 2012 sparked a Secret Service investigation. Nugent, who endorsed Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney, said that if Obama were to win re-election, he will either be dead or in jail, and urged conservatives to ride into that battlefield and chop their heads off.
You know what? If I was the CIA, I'd be on his ass.
The FBI. The CIA,
I'm sorry, the FBI. The FBI.
Theoretically, it's not supposed to operate within the United States of America.
Only internationally.
Correct.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. The Secret Service met with Nugent soon afterwards.
I arrest his ass for saying that.
Exactly. Nugent later called it a good, solid, professional meeting.
Professional? Since when does a guy like that have a professional meeting? Kiss Nugent's ass?
Yeah. Well, what do you call it? If it was a good, professional meeting.
Well, didn't Obama didn't Obama hear exactly what was said in this meeting? Since the threat was towards him?
I guess so. But I'm saying the Secret Service did nothing.
Oh.
That I have never made any threats of violence towards anyone.
You just did.
Stockman, who served a single term in the mid-1990s before returning to Congress this year, has said he will consider filing articles of impeachment against the president in response to executive orders Obama issued to stem gun violence in the wake of the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings.
That plus the increased homicides in Chicago and et cetera, or so on and so forth. Yeah.
You know, Chicago is one of those places that is a hellhole. They have gun control in Chicago, and look at the murder rate.
Yeah, because the bad guys will always get their guns through the black market.
Well, whatever it is, you know.
So
Chicago, go back to whatchamacallit, the
Al Capone?
Al Capone. Go back to then, for crying out loud. In Chicago.
I mean, yeah, some people talk about the side effects of the psychiatric drugs and how a lot of these kids are on them, you know, but the point is, no matter how you shake it with the subject of gun control, the bad guys will always get their weapons from the black market.
And why is that?
Because they can.
Yeah, but could it be due to capitalism?
The evils of capitalism? Sure, of course. I see.
You got the moolah, you get whatever you want.
I see proof every day that capitalism is a pretty corrupt system.
Earlier, the White House said that Michelle Obama would sit with Americans from middle-class families whose lives the president believes would be improved by his policy proposals.
The lives of the middle-class families will be completely improved if the tax burden was taken completely off of the middle class and put back on the rich.
Former Representative Gabrielle Giffords, who was shot at a constituent event in January 2011 and is now leading a public campaign in support of stricter gun laws, also attended.
That's right. And congressmen and senators that are making between $180,000 and up to $200,000 a year should pay for their own health insurance and their own retirement accounts.
Yeah.
They can definitely afford it. They don't need no freebie perks.
Indianapolis cracked down on human traffickers before it hosted the Super Bowl in New Orleans this year. Federal law and local law enforcement scoured the city for pimps who set up shop to exploit minors. Now, with 51 weeks to go before the Super Bowl arrives at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, authorities and legislators in New Jersey are moving to curtail any sex trade at any event that routinely generates more than 100,000 visitors. While there is debate over whether the Super Bowl actually increases sex trade activity, multiple anti-trafficking efforts are underway, from proposed legislation to crackdowns on prostitution, to a task force dedicated to ferreting out human trafficking. What isn't disputed is that the big game provides an opportunity to raise awareness about human trafficking. What the Super Bowl does is draw attention to this issue. It may be that statistically we do not find a huge uptick in trafficking, but what we've definitely seen is a huge increase in awareness on the issue.
Yeah, you know, the human race is vile and despicable. They can care less about human rights. So greed, the love of money, which is idolatry, is in control of today's world. And that's why you have all this corruption.
Charles Krauthammer, the conservative, wrote a column, Obama's Liberal Manifesto.
Liberal Manifesto? He thinks that President Obama is a liberal?
Correct.
No, he's not a liberal. Neither was Bill Clinton a liberal. They were corporatists with a moderate corporatist Democrats.
Krauthammer criticized President Obama's liberal agenda.
Liberal? Oh yeah, that's why all those homeless people are getting evicted from the woods in Lakewood, New Jersey. We're living in a liberal country, sure.
He hates Obamacare, but he loves millionaire care.
Oh, millionaires should get everything for free, of course.
He said that Social Security and Medicare will fail unless conditions are made. Corrections, are made.
You know what? Miserable scumbags like this In reality, they should get plummeted, bludgeoned by this shillelagh, blackthorn shillelagh. You know how many people are getting away? How many people are really cruising for a bruising in this country that don't get it? This guy's a piece of shit.
Corrections are easy, but he would probably never support increasing fees for the wealthy, which can put these programs on a successful footing.
And I never hear any Democrats going after the wealthy either. Where are the Democrats that are supposed to go after the wealthy? Where's the big shot, Al Franken? Haven't heard him. He didn't say boo.
I saw him the other day in the chamber for the State of Union.
Yeah, he was there.
Correct.
But does he stick his mouth in front of a camera?
Neck out? No.
No.
For 40 years, taxes for the rich and corporations have decreased, while taxes for the non-rich have increased. There are multi-billion-dollar corporations that pay 0 taxes, yet get huge subsidies.
Which is welfare for the rich. Subsidies, Wall Street bailouts.
No doubt. Krauthammer doesn't object to that.
Krauthammer needs a hammer on top of his head.
The Pentagon budget needs to be cut.
Yeah.
But Republicans want to cut life-sustaining programs rather than reduce profits from the war death business.
Well, they simply don't care about the poor.
The right wing blesses outsourcing of American jobs overseas. Presidential candidate Mitt Romney was a big outsourcer, while he blamed Obama for unemployment.
So where is all this job creation that Republicans talk about? They're in favor of outsourcing.
Republicans plan,
in the U.S., I would job creation in the U.S.
Well,
they're supposed
Republicans
to be.
never talk about job creation per se. They just criticize Obama for not creating jobs. You see. Republicans planned numerous schemes to limit the right to vote for minorities. This isn't conservative. It's fascist.
I like this article.
Clearly, the right-wing game relentlessly pushes war against the middle and lower classes to make the rich richer by making the poor poorer. As billionaire Warren Buffett said plainly, we have class warfare, yes, and my class is winning. It's about time that a president spoke up against the vicious right-wing agenda. If that is a liberal manifesto, good.
If that is a liberal manifesto, or whatever you want to call it, Republicans, you want to call it socialism, I am saluting it with my lucky blackthorn shillelagh from Ireland. And by the way, the legend says it that if the wood is grown in Ireland, the shillelagh is good luck. It brings good luck. It has power.
Oh, jeez.
But it's not going to be good luck if I happen to bash in a skull of a right-winger.
A thing has power?
Yeah, of course.
I thought a thing could not have power unless some other thing utilizes
but
it.
If it comes from wood, it came from a living entity. Living things give off an aura, a chakra, sort of.
But they can't move. You know, it's like the old days
Well,
when everybody carried their god in their pocket. But these gods were lifeless. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't move, like the Bible says about the Christmas trees that they used to worship, etc. They can't even move.
Listen,
they can't move from place to place.
Hey, buddy boy, an oak tree.
How can they be lucky?
An oak tree, which was worshipped by the Norse people, okay, the Germanic and the Norse people, the Vikings. An oak tree cannot move, but it's definitely alive. So don't think.
But what does that have to do with luck?
You don't believe in mysticism and magic?
As the Bible says, the rain falls on the bad and the good equally.
Well, there are some people out there that are definitely lucky.
There is luck, but what is it?
It's not scientific.
What is luck?
You can't prove it.
Chance.
Chance.
Whatever. You know?
You know, science science proves that any form of gambling is very illogical to even get involved in. You know, I mean.
Well, there are several people who have won twice and 3 times. Explain it. You know, how can you explain it?
I've known people that were financially very well off that hit the lottery. That won the one of them won the win for life, the $1,000 a week for life, scratch off, and this individual was
well-to-do,
financially well off for her and her husband, and she gossiped about everybody behind their back. She wasn't very well liked, and you know, and she won.
That's the point.
But then again, it's Satan's world.
You know.
So you're lucky if you're part of the world.
Frozen food company Findus is recalling beef lasagna meals in Sweden.
I can imagine what this lasagna looks like.
After tests confirmed,
yeah, what's up?
The products contained horse meat.
Could be worse. Could be roadkill. Could be rat.
The move follows a similar recall this week in Britain amid a widening scandal surrounding the use of horse meat and mislabeling of meat products in Europe.
My sister tells me that your average frozen dinner is about $5 each. When you see the picture on the box of the meal and then you open it up and you pull it out, there's a huge difference in size. So this $5 frozen dinner, yes, it's a ripoff. It's not a hungry man dinner. It's not for a hungry man.
Even those hungry mans are. What do you get? 3 Salvary steaks in there?
No.
3 pieces of meat in a hungry man.
No, they reduced it.
2.
Something like that.
What the hell?
And you get a little blob of tasteless mashed potatoes. You get a little spoonful of mixed vegetables. You might get a little tiny little chocolate cake in there, maybe.
Oy.
It's horrible. It's like, and all the pot pies, you know, like sold by Boston Market and Marie Callender and Swanson, you know, in the supermarket. More dough, less vegetables, and less meat in the pie, and more dough. It is all dough. It is a ripoff. The whole food industry in America, it is a ripoff. They shrink the packaging, you know, they up the price. All those breakfast cereals, I wouldn't even call it a breakfast. I call it poison. It's all sugar. They want $5 a box for garbage.
$5 a box, yeah.
I'd rather see people go to Whole Foods and buy the 365 gram, you know, organic, no sugar added
granola.
Right, the whole grain cereals, and you're going to pay like a fraction of what it costs. It's you know what this country has become is despicable. Continue.
Heinrich Nyberg, product manager for Findus in the Nordic countries, said about 20,000 frozen lasagna meals are being recalled in Sweden.
They don't make Swedish meatballs? Swedish meatballs, jumping Yemeni.
This is ground meat in the lasagna, not meatballs.
It's ground horse.
Well, it turns out to be a horse.
Just jiggling my balls, that's all.
He said the products don't pose any food safety risk. You're just eating horse instead of beef. That's all.
So if it was roadkill, they would say, well, we inspect the roadkill and we sterilize it and we do this and we do that, and it should not pose a risk. And then when they were putting pink slime with ammonia in
whatever happened to that?
Hey,
you don't hear it anymore.
We don't hear about pink slime anymore. You would think that this would make like 60 Minutes. This would be a big issue. Never was on 60 Minutes, my friend. It was never on MSNBC. Well, I mean, they might have mentioned it as a news report, but to me this is a big issue.
For a day or two.
Right? So you notice how things in the mainstream media that are very important to the masses, like suddenly they come and go. They mention it, they might mention it again, maybe a third time.
And then it's gone.
And it's gone.
Down a rat hole.
Down a rat hole. We have one more juicy reading.
Well, I hope it's juicy. Let me see.
Find a juicy one.
Well, let's find this one first.
Let's sink our teeth. Well, if you got a small, nice one.
I got a political one here.
All right, that'll be the last reading if it's juicy enough.
I hope so. I must have been dreaming.
What was that? I couldn't hear with the bells.
I must have been dreaming.
You must have been dreaming.
I dreamed that a president of the United States assured me over and over again that Saddam Hussein was killing his own people on behalf of his alliance with Al-Qaeda to pursue the destruction of the United States with weapons of mass destruction.
Should I ring the levity bells?
I dreamed
of Jeannie with the light brown hair.
That a vice president went on Sunday morning national television to invite the world to contact his staff, not the CIA, if they wanted the evidence of Saddam's designs on the United States.
Really?
I dreamed that a national security advisor painted lurid verbal pictures of the impending atom bombing of United States cities by Saddam. I dreamed that a Secretary of Defense confessed to not knowing the unknowns, but was absolutely sure that we had reason to fear Saddam. I dreamed that these folks ruined the political career of the Senate Majority Leader because he wanted to take more than 10 minutes to examine the evidence before going to war. I dreamed that these folks ruined the careers of an ambassador and his wife, a highly effective CIA agent, because they had examined the evidence and found it wanting. I dreamed that a Secretary of State and a CIA chief, knowing how ruthless their colleagues were, put their careers ahead of their country. I am so happy to learn that none of these nightmarish things actually happened.
When you're finished with this, read the name of the person who wrote.
Mr. Ron Greenberg.
Where is he from?
Glen Rock.
Glen Rock, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Mr. Ron Greenberg of Glen Rock, New Jersey. Very well made article, very articulate. I salute you with the shillelagh.
The Bush administration players either shift the blame for advocating the invasion of Iraq in 2003 or make excuses.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same old song and dance that has been presented from advocates of invasion. They don't mention that the UN Security Council, refused to sanction the invasion. Russia, a key U.S. ally such as Germany, and France refused to participate. In September 2004, UN Secretary General Kofi Annan said, "I have indicated it was not in conformity with the UN Charter. From our point of view, from the Charter point of view, it was illegal." Additionally, massive worldwide demonstrations against the invasion prior to and during its initial stages failed to deter the Bush administration. In March 2003, Chief UN Weapons Inspector Hans Blix stated that no evidence of proscribed activities in Iraq has been found so far. He said progress was made in inspections, which would continue and would take months in his estimation. However, the Bush administration proclaimed the diplomacy had failed and that it would proceed with a coalition to remove weapons of mass destruction from Iraq by military force.
That they never found.
Most of the Bush administration officials who supported the invasion, including those who stated their cases in the article, have been discredited. In addition, I find it incredible that former Secretaries of State Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice, also advocates of invasion and contributors to the article, maintain their celebrity status.
Condoleezza Rice?
Even though they were all wrong.
They were all wrong.
Because they were liars.
Lying through their teeth. Conservative propaganda from the Bush administration. Do we have one more juicy?
It may be juicy, but it probably warrants some discussion.
But it's not long.
Not too long.
All right.
New Mexico Supreme Court dealt a blow Wednesday to the prosecution's case against two aging college professors, including one from New Jersey, accused of helping run an online prostitution ring.
I guess they don't pay professors too well in that state.
And denied a request to overturn a lower court ruling that nothing in state law made the website illegal. The state's high court ruled without comment to deny a request by the Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office to allow them to continue with a case that has drawn national attention and highlighted what some online experts there say are New Mexico's outdated prostitution laws. The state judge in June ruled that the website Southwest Companion, which was linked to former University of New Mexico President F. Chris Garcia and retired Fairleigh Dickinson University physics professor David C. Flory.
I would have called it the Prickly Cactus Introduction Agency.
Violated no law.
Escort agency, the Prickly Cactus. Prickly, yeah.
Both were arrested by Albuquerque police in June 2011 on charges of promoting prostitution. After a year-long police investigation into an alleged multi-state operation where prostitutes and patrons could meet.
Oh boy.
But District Judge Stan Whitaker found that an online message board could not be a house of prostitution under state law. Prosecutors then took the case to the New Mexico Supreme Court. They said Whitaker had exceeded his authority in requiring the grand jury to be informed of the ruling. They said his decision relied on facts, not in evidence. During arguments on Wednesday, Michael Frick, Deputy District Attorney for Bernalillo County.
Bernalillo?
Bernalillo.
Bernalillo.
Said he believed that the internet was a place, therefore the website and its owners could be prosecuted under the state's narrowly defined prostitution laws.
Narrowly defined.
So the internet is a place.
Oh, really? Cyberspace is
a place.
It's like saying corporation is a person.
Bingo. Or, like if you can work, you're no longer disabled.
Oh, you held the job.
Kidda.
You held the job for 1 week. Oh, and
all your benefits stop.
And it didn't work out. Well, we decided that you're no longer disabled anymore. Yeah, right.
Attorney Terry Duncan, who represents Flory, countered the state laws were clear. Countered that the state laws were clear and that the website did not fall into that category. Looking at the language of the statute, it's clear that the place of prosecution is intended to be a physical place, he said, not cyberspace.
Well, it's only physical when the client meets up with the wherever that may be. Then it's physical.
Well,
but not
Well, they wanted to get rid of the website.
Well,
because that was the place where they brought the both together.
Where were the servers of that website outside of that state, in another state? Most likely yes.
Who knows?
So so in the red states they like to make up their own rules.
No kidding. No kidding.
Religious nuts.
I believe it was Mr. Brown who said that those things are from the pit of hell.
A woman can do what she wants with her own body, period. It's her body. It's her life.
But they own her body. They own it.
Who owns what?
They do. Conservative religious nuts own bodies of women.
They own bodies of women.
Correct.
And they feel they have the right to tell women how to run their lives, how to live their lives.
Correct.
And then they want to climb into your
bedroom
and pants and television set and computer and
your hotel room
and dictate,
you can't have porn,
and dictate what you can watch and what you cannot watch. Did you know that in the city of Dubai, if a foreigner is working in Dubai and they have a visitor come to Dubai, they're not allowed, if it happens to be opposite sex, they're not allowed to have that person of the opposite sex stay with them because of law. Now you see how right-wing fundamentalism, religious nuts, how it gets intertwined with the law. There's an actual law that says
that's how they get to control you, because they are all
because it's really nobody's business if you get laid.
That's in a free-thinking society.
In a free-thinking society.
Not a control. Conservative religious nuts like control.
That's why they call it fascism.
Yeah. Dictation from the top down.
Control. 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 Now let me wait for this thing to stop. But anyway, finish the article.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm finito here.
But it's people. Now, what usually is the root cause? Is it a love of money and that they get their power? That is the root cause of the hunger for power, or is it the other way around? Is it really power that they're after? So they just use greed as a means of getting there. What do you think?
I think power is first, and when the money comes, that just adds to your power.
It's a byproduct.
A man cannot be free if he has no money.
Yeah, and under capitalism,
therefore no power.
Under capitalism, your very existence depends on getting cash from an employer or the government. Like you don't you have no control over your own destiny. Everything
one, that's
out of
because
pocket. Everything's out of pocket.
You have no land, which is your security, and your own vine, as in Micah 4, verse 4.
You mean God's...
Everybody in the millennium will have their own land and their own vine. They will not be dependent on some corporation.
You're talking about God's economics.
Correct. Now,
there was an episode of Everything is Sunny, Every Day is Sunny in Philadelphia, something like that. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, with Danny DeVito. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And one of the people, one of the actors got sick or hurt or whatever, and they went to the ER at some hospital in Philadelphia. And the first question out of the very rude, nasty nurse, first question out of her mouth was, do you have insurance? Sounds like what we have here at Hackensack University Medical Center. They want right off the bat, you have insurance. Okay, you say no, you don't have insurance. Do you have anything else? Secondary, you know, like, so maybe you got a Medicaid card, maybe you have a Medicare card. All right, and the person in the TV series, the very insane comedy, says, no, I don't have any insurance at all. You have any money? Yeah. No, I don't have the money to pay for this emergency room visit. So the nasty crone, and simply says, well, get out. Yells at them and says, well, get out. Now, legally, in the United States,
can't do that.
They can't do that. So obviously they were making a point about...
Well, they're sure making a point, all right.
About the American healthcare system. That's what they do in Latin America, like in Colombia, South America. They say, oh, you don't have insurance? You don't have money? Well, get out. And you go
die on the street.
Go die on the street.
And we'll have the DPW come up and sweep you up later.
Right. So the point is, in a free democracy, a good health care and a good adequate retirement and a good education should not have to be paid out of pocket by its citizens. It should not have to be paid out of pocket. It should be provided for free by the government, like you know, Canada and Europe.
Like it used to be.
Like it used to be. And yes, the rich should have to pay for it. Now people are telling me there's some stipulations, there's some strings attached to the Canadian healthcare system where, you know, it's rationed.
That's what they say, but I don't know about that.
You can only get you're only provided, like if you're a cancer patient, they will only do so much for you, and that's it, and no more. And there's waiting lists to see a doctor. There's long waiting lists. I don't know.
There's probably waiting lists for elective surgeries and things like that, not for emergencies.
Like if something needs to be done,
it'll be done.
Yeah. Right.
It'll be done.
It'll be done. If somebody, if some chickie poo wants to get implants put in, you're going to go on a waiting list.
You'll wait. Yeah.
Actually, the government should not have to pay for that. I take that back. That's cosmetic, you know. But anyway, yeah. This is the evil robotic voice coming from the 1%, or maybe the New World Order. We are here to kill you. We are here to kill you. We are here to kill you. That sounds like we are here to kill you.
Who would say that?
Yeah, who would say
that?
Who
would say that? In America.
We have control.
We have
control over your body. Yeah, control over the woman's body. Oh, I forgot to salute professional wrestler and manager, General Bobby Lee Walker, for doing a wonderful pro wrestling talk with me not too long ago. It's on the internet. Just go to Google and type in pro wrestling talk, General Bobby Lee Walker, and you can throw my name in there too, James P. Madonna, and it'll come up. It was very well made. It was a lot of fun too. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but anyway, thank you for being a guest on Pro Wrestling Talk, General Bobby Lee.